I'm a big believer in what you or the environment that you grow up in is the people who are part of your life help mold you into the adult that you'll be. And it's important to form good relationships with your parents and your family members. I think that I was definitely into my mother's family because that family was always there for me. My grandmother, my aunties, and my uncles, and cousins, you know, they're still like that today. They're bonding like that today. And I don't always participate in family functions and stuff that go on. Honestly, sometimes I just don't feel like it. And I hate that I do that on occasion. That there's sometimes there's really a legitimate reason why I don't function, and other times it's like, okay, it is. I sit here and I think about how my life or my relationship was with my father, my birth father. He's still living, and I'm reflecting about that relationship that we had. It's in my opinion, it's not been a really, really good relationship. Uh, by at an early age, I realized that women were more important than your child. I am the oldest child, or I believe to be. That I'm the oldest child of my father. Um, and the relationship for as long as I can remember, we never stayed on the phone a lot. I was always reaching out to him. I had a somewhat unstable life with my mother, and not my mother per se, but the person that was in her life at that time. And I reached out to my dad. I would call him as often as I could, like every day, like, or sometimes even answer my phone calls, or the conversation would go something like this, like, "Hey, Dad. Hey, baby. How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing fine. What you doing?" "Oh, I'm sitting here with my friends and such and such and such." And you doing all right? No, Dad. I want. Well, listen. I gotta go to the store and get me something to drink before the beer store closes. And call me back. That was the end of our conversations. Literally for years and years. Um, my mother and him got divorced, I think, when I was 3, and he was supposed to come get me to spend 2 weeks with him for summer break or whatever. Maybe have me for a week for Christmas or something like that. I remember him coming to pick me up from my grandmother's house, and he would let me be there that night and ask me what I want for dinner because he loves to cook. He would ask me what I want for dinner, and I'm thinking I'm gonna spend the whole week or two over there with him, however long it was. I forget. I think it was 2 weeks. Maybe it was a week. Um, and he would ship me off to his mom's house, and his mom didn't really like me. My cousins stayed with his mom, my grandmother. They stayed with her. You know, even as a child, when somebody shows you, or it feels like they're showing you difference between you guys or each other. And I felt that way a lot of times, and I really, really hated going over there. I didn't hate going to see my cousins. I hated going over there to that grandmother's house, who really didn't care for me to be there. But my dad would always ship me over there, and eventually I just told my mom and him I just didn't want to go anymore. I don't, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to bond with my dad, my father. I wanted to bond with him, and I didn't get that opportunity because he was living his life. Every time I did go to his house, it was always a different woman because, hey, in between his marriages, he was, let's say, a sociable person. Sociable. He loves women. He's a man's man, and he loves women. So he always had someone in his life at all times. Um, when I was a preteen, life got a little bit difficult at my home. I was going through some stuff, and I pleaded for help. I need help. I needed to leave that situation. I wanted to leave that situation, and I called my dad and I said, "Can I come? Can I come stay with you?" I said, "I'll be good, Dad. Please, can I just come live with you?" "No, no, I can't raise you. I can't deal with you. I gotta work and such." And I was just so devastated. I was disappointed, but I was like, okay, well, he got his life to live. In my child's mind, I thought I understood. Um, life went on. I dealt with that situation that I was going through. I got pregnant at 15 with my twins. I had them when I was 16 years old. And when my dad found out I was pregnant, he made me feel like I had committed the worst crime on earth, that I should be punished. He was embarrassed because I was 15 and pregnant. I wasn't like la di da, I'm happy, happy. It wasn't that either. I was ashamed that I got pregnant at 15 years of age, but they were coming. My kids were coming regardless. And I thought that he would get over it. He would forgive me and he would get over it. But I don't believe, even to this day, that he has forgiven me for having kids at the age of 15. I had him when I was 16. He said he had high hopes for me, and I've disappointed him greatly. And I guess that nothing I could do or say could change his opinion about me. Later on in life, in my 20s, maybe about 26 or so, I found out that I had some siblings, and I was excited about the fact that I had some siblings. I thought I was his only child, but I had a brother and a sister. I met them. They were teenagers, and they had their own issues that they were going through, and they got to come and live with him. And I can honestly say that I kind of resented that. I was like, wow, I needed some help. I needed to come have a place of refuge, a safe haven, if you will. And he didn't allow me to come there, but yet and still he let my brother and sister come there, and because they lived with him, they got to do something that I never did. They got to bond with my dad, or our dad. They got to bond with him. They got to really, really bond with him. Something that I could never, ever, ever achieve in my whole entire life. Even to this day, we're cordial to each other. I may call him twice a year, if that. I don't even know if he knows how that made me feel. I had a moment, had a breakdown. I had heart, not really heart, just by phone. That's the longest we ever stayed on the phone at that time. And I had to let him know how I felt, and I didn't talk to him for maybe a year or so. But he wanted to meet my kids. Now you gotta understand that my dad, till this day, has never come to my house, wherever I've lived. He has never stepped foot in my house. He's never had a meal at my house. He's never sat down at my table and had a conversation with my kids in our house. Never. Don't know if he's ever realized that, but he's never stepped foot in my house. Nowhere. My dad forgets my phone number. My girlfriend is his tax person. And He has her number programmed in his phone, and if he needed to speak to me, he would call her and ask her for my phone number. And that shows you how much of a bond we have right there. Really, just that's shocking. You know, I that really really bothered me. There were that two incidents that had me know that this person who helped give me life and I just really don't have anything going on. Because most of the time that it was contact, it was still me. I'm still reaching. I'm still reaching. I'm still reaching to this day. I'm 43, about to be 44. Till this day, I'm still reaching. When I was with my ex-husband, I needed a ladder to change the motion sensor light bulb. Our house was pretty high. We didn't have a ladder. We hadn't too long lived there when the bulb went out. So I asked him, did he have some? He had several ladders in his at his house, and he said, "Yeah, I got this one." And I said, "Well, shoot." I said, "Let me have this as a housewarming gift." I said, just in case the bulb needs to be changed again. He's like, "No, you're gonna pay me $25 for this." And I'm like, "Come on, Dad, for real? Like, really, really?" He was like, "Yeah, you need to pay me for this." And I was like, "I know he's joking, right?" Or I'm like, "This could be a housewarming gift. You could just give me that." But no, he didn't want that. He hounded me for that money, and he was dead serious about me. If I didn't pay him, he wasn't going to speak to me no more. He said it. So if you don't give me that money for that letter, I'm not going to speak to you no more. And I was like, wow. I gave it to him. I gave it to him. Now, I've been in situations where we needed food, and I would call and ask if he had anything extra. Hey, don't pretend, all of us have been through some things, and he would let me have things out of his freezer, what have you, and hey, that helped out. I appreciated that, but it wasn't often. If I needed financial help, he's never really given me help financially for anything. So it's always I don't have the money, but I've heard that if my brother and sister needed something, he was always there for them to help them out. And that sounds like a little petty, but I'm not. I have nothing against my sister and brother. I can't be mad with them because they got to form a bond with our dad. It just is what it is. And I hope nobody's taking this as if I'm mad with them. I have nothing against them. I love them. They're my family. But it was just like like whoa, it's like mind blowing. But that incident let me know that hey, he treats me like a stranger. I have to pay for services. And the final thing that he did that let me know, like, cemented it 100%. Everybody has their prerogative about who they choose to leave in their will, and I understand this. I am my father's oldest child, and I have younger siblings who are the same age as my older boys, or maybe a year or two older than them, and they are 27, so they're probably 29, 30 now, my siblings. And he told me that you already got a husband. You don't need to be in my will. Like, I'm not gonna put you in my will. I need to take care of Stephanie and Junior. And I'm like, okay. I said, but Dad, I'm not trying to go after what you got. I'd rather have you to live as long as you can. I said, but I'm still your child, even if I am married. I'm still your child. Well, no, you don't need nothing from me like this. So I'm like, oh, that kind of made me feel like he really didn't, really didn't care nothing about me. I'm not important enough to be a part of your legacy, and I get that. I can't be mad with my dad because he is who he is. I can't walk around with this anger. When I was in my 20s, I got this out of my system. Today is just one of those days, and I'm thinking about it, so I'm talking about it. And I just want to say that I forgive you, Dad. I forgive you for not being there for me when I needed you the most. In my preteen years, I forgive you for never, ever, ever making an effort to come get to know your grandkids, who are all adults, by the way, for never, ever making an effort to come get to know them or ever having a meal in my house, for never stepping foot in my house. 43 years old, soon to be 44, and my father has never stepped foot in a house that I've lived in. I forgive you for just not loving me enough for me. I'm sorry that I wasn't a boy child because I was told by my mother that you really, really wanted a boy. You weren't there when I was born, and when you came, you were really disappointed because I wasn't a boy. I can't change who I am. I can't change my sex. I'm a girl. I'm all girl. I'm a lady. That's who I am. I can't change that. But I forgive you for not being there for me. I'm not going, which I really honestly, I thought I had let this all go. And it bothers me still at this age. I was just thinking about it. I just had to say something. I had to talk about it. Sorry I couldn't be whoever it is that you thought I should be. I still love you because you helped give me life. I just want you to know that I love you, Dad. And I've been trying to show you that I loved you for years and years. Maybe you didn't hear me. I didn't know any other way to show it. I tried my best. And I just need you to know that it's okay. You don't have to, if you even watch this video, you don't have to respond to me. I just need to get something off my chest to let you know I'm okay. I still love you, even if you don't love me like I think you should love me. I can't make you do something that you want. What's the song? I can't make you love me if you don't. But I love you, Daddy. I'll always love you until my dying day.